Aishwarya, a couple of years ago, you were faced with that hypothetical question whether motherhood would change your approach to acting, whether it would influence your performance in any way, and whether it would make you view your acting career differently. At the time, you'd said, we shall find out. Now that you've been through that experience, how has it changed you as an actor?
Once an artist, always an artist. Like I said in Good Humor in another interview, you cannot die to play dead as an actor. But then again, when there are roles like the one in Jazba, where Anuradha Verma, the character I essay, is a mother, I know and I do confess that there are certain emotions that I would have been acting differently prior to becoming a mother, and now that you are a mother, there's just certain nuancing that you know it comes from a very honest place and from a place of truth. And that's something even when you're pregnant you do not know. So whenever people say it's that pregnancy is that period when you kind of start experiencing parenthood, no, it happens much later, and it just happens. It just happens that one day, which could be on the day you deliver the child or soon thereafter, but it just happens to you.
Ash, you've said that you're not a fan of the word comeback, of course. You see it more as a maternity leave. That's a great way to put it. Did you ever expect, however, for that maternity leave to be as long as it was, 4 or 5 years? I mean, the scripts were always coming, so what was the hesitation?
See, the reason I find it difficult to wrap my head around that term comeback pertaining to me is because I really didn't go anywhere. I was working 6 months into pregnancy, and from 3.5, 4 months of Aradhya, I was already on the endorsement trail. So I didn't feel like I haven't been on set at all. When you say, why the delay? Now, I was interacting on listening to scripts from year one. You see, when you're pregnant, you say, I'll be ready to work probably 3-4 months after the baby, because you've never had a child before, so you don't know what it entails. Once a baby is born, like 6 months later, you start hearing scripts and all of that, and you're like, by the time she's 1, I think we should be ready to roll. And then life hits you and you realize, no, wait, just a minute. Just maybe another 2 months, another 3 months. And that in a filmmaker's life actually is very possible, because then the filmmaker says, okay, I'll make another movie and then come back, and you've got 9 months in your hand from that script reading. So you approve this script, and then you're talking to another filmmaker and listening to another script. And that's why I'd say I'm listening to a lot of scripts, approved, agreed upon between director and actor, but it will roll when it's meant to, because in the meanwhile that filmmaker is making another movie and you are embracing your life.
Ash, Maggie Gyllenhaal, the 37-year-old Hollywood actress, recently exposed Hollywood's double standards when she revealed that she was rejected for a role for being too old to star opposite a 55-year-old male star. On the other hand, Ranbir Kapoor, who's roughly 10 years younger than you, plays your romantic interest in Karan Johar's film. You've seen him as a teenager working on his father's film. Is it a refreshing switch? Isn't it exciting that we're making movies about modern relationships?
I think it's refreshing that Karan is doing what he's doing as a filmmaker, and his cinema has always excited the audience. So I was very, very happy. I mean, first he shared it with me and I thought he was just sharing it. And then he said, I'd like you to play this part. And I was like, seriously, I mean, it's an easy yes, because Karan and me have been meaning to work together.
That's right. From his first film.
Since the first film. So it's amazing how life's come full circle, and I'm glad it's eventually worked out on, as you said, doing something refreshingly different even in a Karan Johar film.
True.
So I think that's always exciting for the actor in me, because Rajeev, I tried to do that even with Iruvar. I mean, at the end of the day, there was a huge difference that Mani was gutsy enough to endorse right from the beginning, and I was like, I'm here to say precisely that as an actor, here I am open to the craft. And mold me, cast me the way you need to, let this be the director's medium, and let us enjoy the magic of cinema. So I was there doing that in Iruvar, and I'm glad today, even if it means the other way around, whatever it takes, because these are stories being told, and they're not far from reality, because this is the world we're living in.
There hasn't been, Aishwarya, another female star after you who's been as successful and as popular. That is the truth. Is part of that continuing appeal the fact that there is an element of mystery, there is an element of inaccessibility. You're not on Twitter, you're not on Facebook, you're not on Instagram.
Social media is something I do believe in. I do recognize its strength. I do I am completely in touch with the pulse of its impact, its potential, the reach, the connectivity, and I would have loved to have participated, but when it just began, it was all about gauging your own popularity. It was all about the barometer of, you know, who has how many followers, and then what does that reflect. I have never been part of all of that, and I've never been insecure.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to get into that gig, so I kind of said, 1 minute, at this point it's that, and people were just putting up any kind of chatter to kind of build the numbers. So I kind of stayed away. And then at every point in time, it's almost like, because there was such a fervor, everybody felt also that you need to give an opinion on everything.
Right. Aishwarya, when there are two actors in a marriage, how does that play out? You've said that one does end up discussing work at home, but how does one disengage from the successes, the failures, the controversies, the criticisms that come at your partner?
I think that's when who you are comes to fore, and I don't know whether that stems from upbringing. I would assume that. And when it comes to criticism, we both have known long enough, even before even as friends, as colleagues, that you recognize very early that it goes with the turf. You kind of have matured to know how to kind of embrace that aspect of being in this medium.
Sure.
Being a public personality.
When, for example, if your film weren't to do well, does it affect him? When his film doesn't do well, does it? I mean, is it hard to disengage from that? Because you're not invested just in your own
Absolutely.
career. You're invested in
So
another
I
person.
mean, when you love somebody, obviously, I mean, that sense of caring and sensitivity will always exist.
Yeah.
But there's just something about also individual attitudes.
Right.
It probably stems from the fact that he is born to this business. He's born to the place. So a certain manner in which probably one will respond
Sure.
to all the goings on can be a little different from people coming from outside of the industry. And that's where I think also there's a wonderful balance that we give to each other.
You're going off to Austria soon to shoot for Karan Johar's film. You've said in the past that you feel a mixture of excitement and anxiety before starting every new film. Is that what you're feeling right now?
Of course, because Karan and me have been meaning to work right from the beginning. And it's here.
Right.
You know, within a week's time, we're going to be working together. We've been friends for so long. So I'm really looking forward to the professional on-set energy, because that's something we haven't shared, and we have shared so much else all these years. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. And Ranbir and me have been friends forever. So, I mean, even if not paths crossing all the time, because it was at such an interesting early stage of his life. He was assisting his father
on the film that you acted in,
which was at the very beginning. In fact, that's how I was not doing Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, because then I was doing Aab Laut Chale. So that's going to be another laugh amongst us. Then he came in with Sanjay Bansali. So when he was assisting Sanjay, there was a connect. And you know, he was watching our work, discussing it. It was completely, so there's been an interesting connect all along. And here we are. So I'm really looking forward to that.
It's no secret that Sanjay Leela Bansali had wanted to make Bajirao Mastani with you. You were always meant to be his Mastani. It didn't work out at the time because he couldn't crack the casting. Are you curious to see what he's done with the film, this passion project of his finally on the screen?
Sanjay is a magical filmmaker. With him, my relationship obviously is immensely personal and so beautiful professionally. When it comes to this movie, yes, it was meant to have happened years ago. But very honestly, and I don't know if Sanjay has shared this or whether he will, and Sanjay, excuse me if I'm doing so, but Sanjay has at different points in time, not just from that first point where it was meant to be a certain, at different points in time he has approached possibilities of different casting. And at different points in time that wasn't working out, and there is a certain commitment that he needed also from the actor who's going to play Bajirao. He wanted the actor to commit that kind of time, shave his head off, and give that kind of time to that character. So with various castings, he did say that that was also quite a point in discussion. he did. We did discuss it also post Aradhya,
Right.
and there was something that he was exploring, and he said if that happened, who knows, maybe again. But then when it wasn't, also he did meet me, and he said, okay, I guess this is going to be. This is my Bajirao. Yeah. So naturally, I mean, I knew then, he'd be casting Deepika in the Mastani, and full power to them and good luck.
Okay. I have to ask you, is Aradhya curious? I know you used to say that you had to tell her that you were going to office when you go to the set.
Maintained it for the longest time.
Has that lie been caught on? I mean, does she know?
No,
Mommy does something a little more exciting than just going to office.
No, she knows we work in the movies now, because suddenly, if ever watching television or you're going around or when you're traveling, it's kind of there, and then at the airport also there'll be screens and your trailers come, ads and all that, of course she's seen. So I did say that we work in the movies, because otherwise she will think that everybody's parents are ready to turn left and right, and
they expect to see everyone.
Yeah, everybody's parents, when she was younger, now of course she has grown, and she's a very perceptive child, so wonderfully, of course, she knows that's office, but I still refer to it as office.
Okay.
I find the term shooting a bit absurd, so I don't, I think the context of a child.
Does she ever come to set?
Yes, very often, but she comes to bus office. That's what I'll call the trailer, you're coming to bus office.
She's never actually seen you shoot.
I think she saw my performance now in Chennai, in terms of seeing stage performance.
That's right.
But no, not really filming on the sets of Jazba, because they were real locations.
Yeah.
And the locations, were not always child friendly. So then I used to have her, brought from, if the schedules were such, then I'd get her from her play school to my trailer, and so I'm there with her.
Yeah.
I am still spending time with her.
Right.
Because, on set, light, you end up having time. So why be away from each other? So definitely with her. And, I'm spending all that time. But no, she hasn't come on set as yet. Okay. Maybe in Austria.
Well, here's wishing you all the happiness and success. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you, Rajeev.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.